Here is Jim Carroll performing his work, Tiny Tortures. I moved to the center of the room, then signaled the people to close in as tight as possible around me to see, reserving only enough space for me to operate. I knelt down in the middle of the circle they had formed and reached into the knapsack placed at my side. I pulled out the paper bag with one hand, then with the other, a can of Raid. I undid slowly the neat folds on top of the bag, then turned it over, gently shook it. The roach landed on his back upon the highly varnished wooden floor. It didn't move. If the little fucker had croaked on me, I was up Schitt's Creek, I thought. Then, to my great relief, he flipped over and spun around as if the whole thing had been purposefully done for dramatic effect, as if we'd been rehearsing for 3.5 months. I quickly raised up the can of deadly spray, and not a moment too soon, he was making a dash for it and moving quick, right toward a sea of expensive dilettante shoes. I cocked the trigger to the can and blasted him in one long barrage. He turned and headed in the other direction, but I laid down a well-timed strategic pattern of quick bursts. He was hit and hit bad, again and again, but he struggled on. Dazed by the malodorous insecticide, he began to move in circles, rallied by the applause of the crowd, whose mood and gestures had suddenly shifted from that of hip supporters of the arts into crazed rednecks in the heat of a cockfight. I kept up my spurts. Pools of the stuff were forming. What an adversary, what a genuine trooper I had picked from the tub that morning. This was the greatest cockroach in the world, I thought. But in the end, no matter how much heart, the tiny roach could not stand up against the savage forces of art, not to mention the active ingredients in Raid. It finally just crumbled in its tiny tracks, its legs sort of just splaying out to the sides. The incredible part is it held on to just under the 3-minute mark before collapsing. God, what a performer. Not only endurance, but a sense of timing as well. Of course, I felt compassion, but as far as the event went, things couldn't have gone better. The audience loved it. The following week, in both the East Village Other and the Village Voice, I was signaled out as a stone rave in their reviews of the show. One referred to the, quote, keen, trenchant commentary which the piece made on urban decay. The other called it a non-verbal demonstration on the horrors of Vietnam.
You don't have to be afraid, though I said